in the smartphone space. The Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, the one in front of me here is the XL. It's just the hottest phone right now. I mean, it just came out. Full transparency, I have personally used almost every version of Google phone leading up to this one. Lou here, and I'm very excited to bring to you some beautiful visuals as well as detailed specs on the latest Nexus devices that Google is set to launch this holiday season. It's always an area of interest for me to see, hey, what is Google doing? Now, this phone has been surprisingly polarizing because of this unusual layout at the top, this notch layout. Maybe it's the two eyeballs, maybe it's the little robot mouth in the middle. It's brought up a lot of conversation. Obviously, there's more to this device than the notch. There's a camera unit, there's an OLED display, there's a Snapdragon processor, some stereo speakers, and so on and so forth. There's way more to evaluate than just that notch. Now, for some of you, that might be a deal breaker. For some of you, you might look at that and just say, no, not possible. But I did show you that you can kind of hide it. I did make a formal request in my previous video for a certain type of notch, no notch implementation. You can keep your screen real estate up there, but have it blacked out for a little bit of symmetry. Nonetheless, the Pixel is interesting for many reasons. It's interesting because it's Google's play, and Google is that brand that's responsible for Android. They are the shepherds of Android. The features that they highlight here, the hardware that they select, it all kind of acts as an indication for where Android may eventually end up. And for that reason, I've always been compelled to use and abuse the various Pixel devices. Some of the problems I've had with other Android manufacturers and the various skins that they put on their devices is that they sometimes stunt some of the stuff that Google is doing themselves. And of course, Google's employing super high-end engineers, much like Apple is, to work exclusively on this software, on this OS, on this unadulterated version. A synergy of software and hardware selected by the group responsible for both. There can be improvements made, but you must also admit that in some cases, some of these brands, they do the opposite. They might actually remove some of the usability or some of the intuitiveness that's native in this version, vanilla, stock, from Google Android. Now, I did do an unboxing of this device. The speakers may be the best I've heard, definitely the best I've heard recently. The display, it seems maybe a touch better than the previous version. I have to withhold my entire review. I do have to use this thing. We've added wireless charging, which is a big deal for me. It's something that I really missed on the previous version. There is no headphone jack. The headphone jack did not make a comeback. But I think the thing you guys are gonna wonder about the most throughout this experience of using this device is the camera. I mean, the camera has become this very important aspect, maybe the most important aspect of smartphones recently, especially at the flagship level. Can this camera stack up to the camera on the XS Max, or can it go a step further? Can it do a step better? This wide-angle selfie lens is kind of promising to me. The wide-angle selfie makes it less of a selfie and more of a groupie. The cameras are what you're going to be interested in, so I expect to test them extensively. I'm amazed every day at the caliber of photos that are coming out of smartphones right now. You youngsters, you don't know. You didn't see the pixelated garbage that I was forced to grow up with. Multitasking via gestures now. I got to see if I like that. And then the last thing, we got to talk about Notch City. How much will it bug me? What will the eventual implementation of the notch hide be? I will likely go with the developer option, hiding the notch. At least you have some symmetry to it. We'll see. Does the forehead and chin, does it bother me? Or can I live? Can I really live? This is something that I wish every manufacturer with a notch at least gave you an option for. I'm not telling you to love or hate the notch. I'm just asking for options. More options equals better, equals good for you, for me, for us. Without further ado, let's do the thing we do. Switch over to another phone exclusively with the main SIM card and for an extended period of time. Oh my goodness, it's always nerve-wracking. You just get into the groove with one particular smartphone and it's on to the next, because you guys need to know. The world needs to know what is happening in the smartphone marketplace, what is hot, what is not, and most importantly, above all else, as I insert this SIM card, what is worth your hard-earned cash. It's real. Boom, ping, bang. There it is. Pixel 3 XL, SIM card in. I got a first-party case for it as well. Look at that little fabric texture. Cost to performance ratio. It deserves discussion. There's so much happening at various price points within the smartphone marketplace. It's very exciting. This is a global discussion. Should the Pixel cost what it costs? Or would you be better off spending your cash elsewhere? I'm gonna go find out. Then I'm gonna tell you. So let me go do that. I'm gonna go use this smartphone, Pixel 3 XL. I have switched.